Welcome to Tech Brothers with Ahmed. Today we are going to learn how to dynamically change the SQL command in OLE DB command transformation. So I have come up with one of the scenario that will teach you multiple things. The scenario is we have multiple tables with same structure for customers for each region. Consider we have customer underscore Asia, customer underscore NA, customer underscore AF, and all that. We have the requirement to build an SSIS package that will read the data from a flat file and load the data to the table depending upon the name of that table, and that will be the exact name of the file as well. So after loading the data to the specific table, we will be updating the record in history table. So history table has the same structure as our main table, but it has at the end it has the underscore HIST. So I'm going to show you here in SSMS. If you take a look, I have created those tables. So these are our main tables. So customer underscore AS, it has customer ID, customer name, street, city, and state. So this is our main table. Then I have created history table by using the same DDL, but just included underscore hist at the end. Now I have created another table called customer underscore NA, and then we have history table by using the same structure or columns and data types, but we have added underscore hist. So we have created these four tables, and then I inserted a couple of records, actually one record in each of them. I was thinking to put more, but didn't get chance, but it doesn't really matter as long as we show you what exactly we are trying to do here. So we have these tables, and if you select the data, let's select the data from this table. So we are selecting data from underscore customer underscore AS and customer underscore AS underscore hist. So first one has a customer ID, then customer name, and some street address and all that. So what we are saying here, if a file is provided with the same name, so we are getting the file dbo.customer underscore AS. That's our table name. So this is how we will be getting the file, and then if we get that file, we will be loading that file to this table, and then if the record match in the history table, we will update that record. So if ID matches with our file data, let's say I have a customer ID 1 and it does match with our history table customer ID, so what we will do, we will go ahead and update that record. We will load the record in the main table, and we will update the record if that matches with the existing record. So that's how we will do. If tomorrow a new file comes for, let's say, customer underscore NA, we have a couple of records here, actually one record, again I'm saying couple of, if a new file comes with the customer underscore dbo.customer underscore NA name, we will load that file dynamically. We don't have to make any changes in our SSIS package. We'll just take that file, just put in the folder, run our package. It will take the file, load to the customer underscore NA, and then also it will update the records in the history table if they are matching on a customer ID. So that's how tomorrow, if you have more columns, more tables you want to add, let's say you are starting business in Africa, and you want to say customer underscore AF, you just have to create a table. These both tables you will create it, and then you can go ahead and just place the file in the folder, and it will take care. It will automatically load the data to that table, and if there would be matching records in the history table, it will keep updating them. So history table can be built, let's say history was built by purging. So after 2 months or 3 months, you take those all customers and put into the history table, and that's how you have the history table, and then you just keep in the current customers in the main tables. So there could be different scenarios. In my case, it was kind of hard for me to come up with the really great scenario that fits with this example, but we are going to learn a lot, and there are a lot of usage of these both scenarios, and you will be able to handle the dynamically upload process for the main table, as well as for OLE DB a command transformation. You will be using dynamically updating the SQL command in the SSIS package by using the table name. So let's go to the our main screen, and here we are going to learn how to create the tables. We already see that we are going to insert some rows, so I already have those records inserted, so that's how we insert it. We say insert into table name, and then we say values, and we provide all those values. So that's how you will insert the records in the table. Next, what we have here, how to use for each loop for read multiple files from a folder path variable. So first of all, we will be creating a SSIS package. Let's create a SSIS package and do step by step. You will open your solution. Then once you are in the solution, you will click here and on SSIS packages and hit new SSIS package. This is going to create us a new SSIS package with some name. We are going to copy the previous name and just change it. So we will paste it, Control V, and then we'll say dynamically just mapping or something. We are not doing really mapping here. We can just say OLE DB dynamically. Okay, now here first of all, as we are reading the data files from this folder, what we are going to do, we are going to create a variable. So why I use the variable? Because we can pass or change the value of this variable from the configuration, and that's how, if we are on different environments such as UAT, QA and production, we just have to pass that value by using configuration. So I'm creating a variable called folder path and provided the folder path here. Next, what we are going to do, we are going to use the data flow task to read the file and load to the main folder, and we will do some data conversions as well. And then we will be using a variable name, as we will be reading the multiple files, and the file name can change. For NA it will be DBO customer underscore NA. For Africa it can be DBO dot customer underscore AF. So those names will change, so we have to dynamically change, and inside the SSIS package we are going to use the variable in OLE DB destination. Next, we will be writing our query for the OLE DB command transformation, but depending on the name of the file, so we can change our query according to the file name. And finally, we will write expressions on data flow task, how to change those queries for OLE DB command transformation, as well as we will write our expressions on flat file connection manager to change the file name dynamically in the connection manager for each load. Now here, when we have this folder path, first of all we have to read the files. As you know that we will be using for each loop, and we can get one file or we can get multiple files. So we will be using for each loop container to read the files from a folder. Go to collections, we will use for each file enumerator, and here instead of providing the hard code value, we will be using the variable. So I'm going to go to expressions, go to directory, and provide the variable from which we want to read the files. So we are reading from the folder path variable, and we have provided the path already. Next, we are only interested to read .txt files. We don't want to read Excel files and all that, because our package is going to only handle .txt. And next part, we can read the name and extension, we can read the fully qualified path, and we can read the name only. In my case, what I'm going to do, I'm going to read the name only, because that's what we need to save in the variable, and we can use in the OLE DB destination, we can use in the OLE DB command transformation SQL statement as well. So we need that. If we will get fully qualified, we will get the folder path and the file name and the extension as well. So we have to use substring and other functions to remove the path and get the file name only. So we will be using only name here, and then we are not going in the subfolder, so we don't need to check mark this part. We are only reading the files from the main folder. Go to mapping, and here we'll say file name, and this is going to be string. Now we are all set. Next part, we will be using data flow task to read that file and load into the table. Bring flat file source, as we are reading data from a flat file, and here hit new. We will be making a new connection manager to a file. Now we will browse and go to the input folder. Here, as I have only one file, let's go back and let's create two files. Just I'm going to copy the same file, pasting it here. So what I want to show you here, doesn't matter to which file you will make a connection. Why? Because they are same structure, and that's why that really doesn't matter. And when your package is going to run, it is going to loop through each of the file anyways, so it is going to take one file at a time and load it. So we can make connection to any. Now we have column names in the first data row. That's correct for me. And then we hit columns, and then we hit advanced. Here we will be changing the data type for customer ID. So in customer ID, what we have in string as of now. We want to change this one to sign integer DTI4. So I have changed that one. For customer name I'm fine, for street I'm fine, for city I'm fine, worker 50, but state, let's say state is only 2 character, so we don't need 50 characters data length. So we are fine with that. Hit OK. You can preview and everything's coming correct. Hit OK. Return null values from the source as null values in the data flow. That means if you are getting some blank values in the file and you want to convert them to null, you will hit this checkbox. So hit checkbox, go to columns. Now hit OK. We are all set. Now we will be loading the data to the main folder. So main folders, what main tables. Here what main tables we have a customer underscore AS. So that's where we want to load the data. Come back here, we will be using the destination called OLE DB Destination. And let me do one thing. I'm going to copy this one and provide the file name to this one, because this is what we will be reading as a file name by using for each. So I'm providing the value as of now. Just you can copy anyone. You can say DBO customer underscore NA or any table name which one has same structure, so you can put it here. Why I'm doing it? Because I want to use this variable in OLE DB Destination, and if I will use it, then it will provide me the table structure, so I can map the columns. Here you will be selecting your connection manager. So you can create a new one if you don't have it. So I'm going to create a new one. You hit new, go to the SQL Server name or instance name, provide that. If you can just type it there, that's great. If not, then hit this drop down and you will get it. Here you can type it, or you will just hit the drop down and get from there. And check the connection, everything looks good. We are in the test database, that's where our tables are. Hit OK. Now here we have option, we can provide the name of the table from a variable. So we selected that part, and here the file name. Remember, the file name is exactly like table name, so we can provide that. And now we go to mapping, and you see that it is automatically mapped because the input columns coming from a flat file, they are exactly the same columns name in the dbo.customer underscore AS table. So that's how they will map automatically. If there you have different names, then you have to map by yourself. Hit OK. This part is done. So now we can actually OLE DB Destination. We can call OLE DB Destination, and then we can call it load DBO underscore customer underscore AS. This part is done. Next part, what we have to do, we have to update the records, the same records what we got here. We have to update those records in the history table. So what we will be using OLE DB command here. So one thing, as we want the same records going here and here, we will be using a multicast. Multicast transformation can take one input and can split into multiple outputs. So you will get the same output on each of the output from the multicast. Here we are providing, let's say it is going to read two records from flat file. They will come to multicast, and multicast is going to give us multiple outputs, and it will give us two records here, and it will give us two records here. So you can connect as many as the outputs you want to use. Now if you see that what is happening, in case we will have or we would have, or we needed to create the package for multiple table loading, we will be using a lot of branching here. So in this case we are only using one data flow, and inside data flow we are just changing the name of a table depending on coming from the for each loop, and then we are changing it in the OLE DB destination, as well as we will be changing in the OLE DB command transformation. This in command transformation, and it has a SQL command. In that one we will change as well. If that route doesn't fit for us, what would be happening? We have to use different branching. So we will be using expressions and precedence constraint, and check the file name, and if file name is equal to this, move to this place. If file name is equal to this, move to this. So we will be using a lot of destinations and a lot of OLE DB command transformation to handle maybe 5 table loads. But in this case you are using the same data flow, just one source, one destination, and one OLE DB command transformation. So it doesn't matter how many files you get it, they will be still loaded by the same package. So that make it really good, because your package is compact, and you are dynamically changing the name of the tables that you are getting from the file. So that's great. Instead of you just have a hard code or make a lot of branches for each of the table. So that could make the package really big sometime. Let's say you have 10 different files that you have to load to different tables. So you have to have 10 OLE DB destinations and 10 OLE DB command transformations. Now this part is done. Next part is we need to update those records. We will select the connection manager and then go to component properties, and here you have to write the update statement. I have prepared the update statement. This is how our update statement will look like. So we have update, then we have a table name, set customer name, set we are setting the street address, city, state, where customer ID is equal to question mark. So each of these question marks, they will be mapped to the input columns. So let's copy this whole thing. I know the package, the video is getting long, but all those things has to be done. So we will be going here in the SQL command and put it here. Now we'll go back and go to columns mapping, and here we will be map those columns. If you notice here, all those parameters came as parameters 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's not really great, but we don't have any option. So if you are writing update statement or insert or a delete statement, this is how the parameter will come. But if you will use a store procedure, then input parameters come as the input parameters you have defined in the store procedure. So that's good option. Maybe you want to write a store procedure and then use these you have input parameters and then use here, and that's how you will use the store procedure in OLE DB and have a proper name come in, and it helps in the mapping. Now we know that customer name is the first one here, so we'll go back and we'll say customer name is the first one, then we say street address is the second one because I know I have written this query, and city and state is the next one. So we have city first and then state, and then the last one is our customer ID, as we can see from our query. So this is how we will map our input columns to the OLE DB command transformation destination parameters or query parameters. Now we are all good, but what is happening now? If you check here, what I have done, I can use SA or customer AS or NA, whatever, because the tables are same. So right here, if you see, I have hard coded the value here, and this is how they will be mapped. If I run this package now, it is going to read the file, it is going to load the file, and it will load I will call this one actually not customer AS. I will just leave this one as it is because it will be loading files for customer underscore NA, customer underscore AF as well. So here in the OLE DB update history table, here we are changing the table name depending on the file name, but here we are not changing anything. So we have hard code values. If you see here, we are just writing our update statement. So that's not correct. If we run this package, it will run and load the files to different tables, the main tables, but it will try to keep updating the same history table over and over because we have hard code the values here, or we have hard code the SQL command here. So we have to change that one as well. If I go and press F4, that will give me history. Sorry, that will give me properties of OLE DB command transformation, but I would not see whole lot things here where I can change that query. So there is no option for me to change those query depending on the file name. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna come back and go to the data flow task and then press F4. That will take me to properties. I will go here in the expressions, let me see where expressions are, and then hit here on the button, and then I will see the property. Now when I will come here and check, the very first one is update history table dot SQL command. So that's what I need to change with the table name, and here I'm gonna hit expressions. Now what we will be doing, we will be copying the same statement, and remember we have to change the table name by using the file name. So that's what we are going to do here. And now let me just change this part. So we'll use double quotes here, then use the plus sign, then we have to add the variable file name, and then we have to use plus sign again and double quotes. So that's how you will add a variable with the static values. So you have double quotes, then you write what you need to write, then you put the double quotes, close it, then you have plus sign, then you will add the variable, and then you have plus sign again and double quotes, and then add the static values to your expressions. One other thing you want to remember, if your variable is integer, it is going to throw you error. So you want to cast that one with dt str, and that's will make it string, and you can concatenate. But in our case, we are getting the values in the file name variable, that's a string type, so we don't have to worry about that. So this is evaluated true, and we can see that it took the DBO customer AS value from the variable and place it, so it is working fine. So hit OK. Now we hit OK. We are all good. Now when the package is going to run, it is going to take the file name from here and then place or change in two places. One in the OLE DB destination, as we have used the variable, and then it will also change the SQL query in the OLE DB command transformation, as we have written expressions on that. So you can take a look again one more time just to tell you, you have to come on the data flow level and then go to expressions to change the query in the OLE DB command transformation that you have used in that data flow. So that's how you will write it. Hit OK. Now the last part we will be doing as we will be reading data from the flat file. That file has to change as well. So if right now we have make a connection that is pointing to the customer underscore AS, that also has to change. We go to properties of flat file and go to expressions, and then we are going to make a new connection string here. We are going to build that connection string and hit the button, and now we use the folder, and then we have to add the file name that for each loop is going to return us. So you have to put double quotes, then two double sorry, so you have to add the plus sign, then you will be saying double quotes, and then you have to have two back what do you call these ones, I don't know, I can't really come on, my brain is not working. Okay, this backslash or yeah, that's, I don't know what exactly you call it right now, it's not coming in my mind, but this is how you will be putting two of them to make it one. So let's say you have a folder, and then for each of the folder you have this backslash come in, so you have to put two of here to bring one in the expressions. Let me show you. So see, that's where it is coming. If I will put one here in the expression, it is going to throw me error, so I have to put two backslashes, and that's how it will bring one here. And then I have to add a plus sign, then I will bring the file name variable here, and then finally I have to add the extension because we read only the file name, so we didn't read the extension, so we have to add the extension back. And this will be the connection string used for our flat file connection manager. Hit OK. Hit OK. Now we are all set. Our package is ready. Let's go one more time and take a look. So in the customer AS we have one record. That's the record, and here let me copy this record actually. So if I will copy this one, this is the in the main table, and this is in a history table. And if we run the file now, what happened? I'm going to delete the name file right now. I will load that later. So this is coming with ID 1. So it will update the record in the history table, and it will insert this record in the main table as well. So let's go and run the package. You guys are not going to like me the way I make the videos, long videos, right? Okay, so it completed successfully, and now we go back, and here if we take a look, see, it loaded the new record. So we had only two Sukhjit Singh, but it loaded with the ID customer ID 1 and Amir. And also if we go and check the history table, it should have only one record, but that should be updated. So remember, here we have Amir, we had one Amir Shehzad, and let me see what happened. So we had, that's exact the same record. It mean the update did not happen. Why? I don't know. So let's go back and take a look. Let's go back here. So we got this record. Now we go here, customer. Aha. Why? Because we are updating the record to the same table, to the main table. We should be updating the record in the history table, right? So we have to go back and change our query a little bit. Sorry, I am really stopping. I have to stop the package. Instead of pressing F4, I press F5. So I go press F4, Now I go back here in the expressions, and then here we have to update the record in the history table, right? So we have update table name, and we have to say underscore history, and that's how our package table should be, right, for update. So hit OK. Now let's go back and take a look in the records. We have 3 records probably here. We can delete if we want, but that doesn't really matter. It will put a new records with the same. We are not checking if the record is already existing or not. So but we are only concerned about if it is updating the record in the history right now. So let's go back and run the package. It ran successfully. Stop the package now. Come back here. We will have 4 records. We are inserting the record in the main table and updating the record in the history. So you can see it changed from Amir Shehzad to Amir, and the address changed from 123 to 1090 Street, and it changed to Lahore, and cities and state is Punjab, and this is the ID. So that's how you will be updating this one. Now let's go back here. We have take a look on the this customer underscore NA. We have Christy and John Smith. So I'm going to put a new record. So we will copy the same file, paste it here, and we are going to name this one to NA, and we are going to say, keep the same ID, so we will see if the record is updated. And here I'm going to change to Robert River, and here I will say and here his address is changed from Lahore to Rio Rancho, and he lives in New Mexico. Okay, so we have one Robert Rivers, and for NA, and what's going to happen now? For NA we have only 1 record, but there would be a new record come in. But for the history, this record will be updated from John Smith to Robert River. So now let's run it, and also there would be, see right now what is happening now. Check this one. So we have Ahmed here. I want to go back with the Asia file as well and make a changes, and let me see, I made the changes to the wrong. This should be actually NA, and that should be let me make a change real quick. This is Asia file, and this is NA, so I'm going to remove the space that I just put it. In the Asia file, I want to change back to Ahmed Shehzad, and the address I want to keep this one, and that's it. So now we are running 2 files. We are not archiving these files. We can do it. We can go ahead and archive here by using the file system task, and I have done a lot of places. You can see any video and you will see that how I archive those files and add the date time to it. So let's run this one. Now we are loading 2 files, and one by one. So that's what happening. So this package can take more than 1 file and load them. If you see here what happened now, as you can see, a new record with Amir Shehzad is inserted, and this record is updated in the history table. Also, if we go to NA, what happened? This new record is inserted in the main table and updated in the history table for customer NA as well. So if you need to add a new table, and just create a new table with the same structure and say customer underscore AF or any other region, and then just provide the file, it will start loading those files automatically for you. It is not, you don't have to come back and make changes in the package, or you don't have to write expressions or make any change, because we have taken care of each and everything. It is dynamically changing the query. It is dynamically changing the table name for the main table as well by using the variable value in the OLE DB sorry, in the OLE DB destination, and here we are changing the query in OLE DB command transformation. Last thing I would like to say, see, if you will try to change the query with the, you will try to add new columns, that's not going to work for you, because SSIS doesn't allow the changes to the mapping on the fly. So if I want to add a new column here, and I will go back and just make a change in this query, so it's working just fine. Why not just add a new column here? But there will be no mapping and it will start failing. So let me show you one quick thing here. Let's say if I will go ahead and remove this state from here, and I will assume, okay, it should work fine because I just removed it, no big deal. So what should be happening? Now hit OK, and if we run the package now, see, it right away tell us no, it is broken, because the values you had provided at time of mapping, they are looking for those columns, but you don't have it. And once you open it, refresh it, let's run it now. So see, still it failed. What you have to do, I mean, you have to open it and remap it, and then go back here in your expressions and change it as well. So that the only part you will be changing, you will be kind of changing the static parts, like table name can be changed and all that, but you will not be able to add a new column or delete a new column in OLE DB command transformation SQL statement by using the expression. That's going to be really hard, and I don't think so that's the package is going to let you do it. But as long as the table name is involved, you can change it, and that part to make it somehow you can make it dynamic, but not all the way. So thanks very much for watching this video, and apologize for making this a really long video, but we have learned a lot of stuff for how to build packages dynamically for OLE DB destination, as well as change the SQL statement dynamically in OLE DB command transformation. Thanks.